Hey, what's up, guys? Jesus Barron with Let 'em Bacon podcast. So I'm excited. I know you caught that intro. That's a high value man right there. That's the epitome of sexiness. That's the full man right there. So anyways, I'm excited. Episode 12. What's a high value man? What's a high value woman? And before I get into this podcast, I want to go ahead and say subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Episode 13 is going to be coming soon. I'm going to be talking about Osama bin Laden. That's right. Letters to America, or Letter to America. And basically the trend that's going on right now on TikTok and social media with Gen Z talking about Osama bin Laden and how they're sympathizing with him, which is actually very scary. And so I'm going to be talking about that on episode 13. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification. So yeah, I'm excited. Anyway, this episode is to break away a little bit from those topics, those more serious topics, and just kind of have fun with this, right? What's a high value man and what's a high value woman? I'll tell you one thing. I ain't no Andrew Tate, but I'll tell you another thing. Andrew Tate, he ain't me. Just saying, you know what I mean? And therein lies my perspective. What's a high value man? Well, let's watch this video real quick. This is a fresh and fit episode, and I want you to listen. It's 4 minutes long. It's a little bit long, but just listen, and then I'll get back to it. All right, guys? So here we go.
I wouldn't be able to work for the next 8 years, medical school, for example. Then if my man is willing to support me, I want him to eventually be happy with my success.
Yeah. So let me finish my example, and I want to answer your question. So the point is that you guys want a man to get on your level. So guys, if a woman was making $50,000 and you're making $200,000, do you want her to make $200,000? Is that a priority for you guys?
No,
not a priority.
So you see, guys, they don't view it that way. They you gotta think about it. Men are conditioned to protect and provide from thousands of years. So men are not looking for a teammate who can do what they do. You know, like it's like the best way I can break it down.
But it's not about doing. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
I apologize. But it's not about doing what they do. It's about doing me and being supported and
so here's
supported emotionally. And
here's a problem: a man with options can choose, and unfortunately, you're the worst option. No disrespect. No disrespect, because here's the reality. There's two guys, right? There's a guy that makes $500,000. All things are equal. They're both handsome. They're both tall. They're both successful in their own sense, right? One is a successful teacher making $50,000. One is a successful doctor making $500,000. Which one is more attractive?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I blinked out a second ago.
Okay, cool. So there's two guys, and everything is equal. Okay.
Thank you.
One of them makes $50,000. One of them makes $500,000. Which one is more attractive? Everything is equal.
It's okay to say the truth.
I know.
It's okay.
Listen.
The feminism in her won't allow it.
No. I'll answer honestly.
I want an equal partner.
I'm just as mesmerized by fancy, shiny things as any other person is. I find that sometimes men who have a lot become entitled.
Listen. I just said everything was equal.
Okay, then yeah, for sure, the man who has more because my life would be better.
Because you value that more. So what you got to understand is women who think independence. You like that in men.
Yeah.
A man being independent, a man not needing you, a man to be able to take care of his stuff on his own. That's what you value in men. Men don't want that in women. Because the reality of the matter is when a woman is really turned on by a man, when a woman is really in love with a man, when she really respects him, she becomes utterly dependent upon him because she does not want him to leave.
So here's what I don't like. My biggest fear is to lose my independence and to rely on somebody else.
And know where that comes from? Where does that come from?
I don't know. I mean, I've been independent since I was 18, and I think it's a very important thing to me.
I know, but where does that fear come from?
I don't know. I don't want to rely on anyone. I wasn't brought up to rely on anyone, and I don't think
exactly that came. So what happened in childhood? Either your experience showed you, or somebody communicated that to you. Because you're talking about, I have a fear. You can't live your life according to fear. Imagine me saying, I have a fear of crashing on a plane. I can never get on the plane.
Damn.
So your whole relationship movement is based upon a fear. That's unhealthy. And so what I've noticed is a lot of women, when they move in a relationship, it's based out of fear. You can't live your life based upon fear.
I think it's unhealthy to put yourself in situations where you could potentially be left with nothing.
But that's the mindset.
That's the fear.
You see how you're living your life? You're living your life worst case scenario thinking.
Yep.
Imagine me saying, I don't want to start a business because if I open a business, I can lose all my money. Because that's a risk of starting a business. You can put all your time, energy, effort, and money and resources into a business and lose it all. So what happens is a lot of women have seen either from divorces in their family, either from their mom whining and complaining, or they've seen a woman being in an unhealthy situation, and now their fear is the worst case possible scenario.
Here's another worst case.
So you guys just heard that, and well, I agree with this gentleman. And here's the thing, though. I'm 37 years old. I'm coming up on age, right? So my experience with life has taught me that not everything these kids deem to be a priority are really a priority. Whereas they make some very good points, they're still missing a big part of life. I'm sure I'm even missing a big part of life because I'm still growing, right? I'm still only 37 years old. And as I get older, I'm going to learn that what I prioritize right now may not be what I prioritize 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? So in seeing these conversations on YouTube, like the Whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit or Pearly Things, because there's even one with Pearl. I don't know if you guys know who she is. It seems like the main priority is looks, income, status, career-oriented people. That's what they deem to be high value. You have gentlemen like Andrew Tate, who was very prominent for a while. I guess he still is, right? And his priorities are not the same priorities that every man has. And not every woman would consider him a high value man. He's high value in the sense of how much money he makes, right? Just like many other people that society deems high value, like an Elon Musk or Brad Pitt. You have successful men who have businesses, careers. They make a lot of money. They have this certain image about themselves, so they're deemed high value man. But here's the thing. Not every person sees these people as a high value man. And I don't see every high-end woman as a high value woman. You see, as a combat veteran who is American of Mexican descent, who grew up in a family where both parents are very close together, who is connected to his family, who bases religion and God as a center or foundation of our home, it's very different what I see to be a high value man and a high value woman. You see, I spent most of my life seeing my dad working away and ensuring that we had food on the table. We're talking about a Mexican man, that, like a lot of men that crossed from Mexico into the United States, came here looking for work, right? Came from nothing and grew into something that's very impressive, into having a concrete business here in Colorado. And also seeing my mother, a very devoted, strong woman, a woman of prayer and knowledge, and always devoted to her kids and her family, and sacrificing everything to ensure that my brother and I had everything. That we had food in our bellies, that we had clothes on our backs. That is what I deem a high value woman. As a dad, as a man who has had unsuccessful relationships because of the influences that I had as a kid growing up, going to church, hard work, going to school. I had chaperones, right? I could only stay up so long. I could only go to certain places. And, I was a church boy. I grew up very strict, cleaning my room. I had no TV until the age of 18. I was all about playing outside, playing with BB guns, getting dirty. And so my life influences who I am today. Seeing how my dad grew up and how my dad treats my mom, that's the way that I am influenced by life. And so what I deem to be a high value man, it's not a Brad Pitt. It's not an Elon Musk. It's not a highly fit, successful man to the point of, he's super rich and has 2 wives and everything, right? Unfortunately for my life, even though I was influenced by my dad, who was a great man, I had failures in my relationship, right? I had 2 failed marriages, and I'm currently in a new relationship, even though I'm going through a divorce. Part of it is about growing up, and a big part of it is just that I made mistakes because I prioritized certain things in a woman that were not really valuable. At first, we are trying to appease society. We're trying to say, you know what? A certain level of equality, yes, it's normal, right? But in reality, relationships are greatly influenced by the way that we believe things, right? I do not deem a career as being something that is valuable. I do not deem your looks being as something that's valuable. Before that was it, right? Oh, she goes to the gym and she has a high paying job. That's a good woman right there. No, I made a mistake. Oh, that person right there is the same culture as myself. And that's high value right there. No, I made another mistake. When I picked my girlfriend now, I laid out all my cards on the table. I said, look, listen, I am not 6 foot tall. I don't have a 6-pack. I don't have a 6-figure income. This is what I have. I have all these problems right now. I can't provide you this. I can't provide you that. I can't provide you that. But this is what I can provide you. I can provide you with ensuring that you are always protected. I can provide a certain level of commodities. This much, right? A roof over your head, food on the table, and I will always ensure that I am loyal to you. I am not a handsome man, but I'll always make sure I take care of myself. Now, when I picked my girlfriend, because we do pick our partners, right? To a certain extent. Yes, they pick us, but we also pick our partner or our girlfriend or our spouse or whatever. I made sure that she had all the qualities I was looking at in a person, that I look for in a person. I said, look, I am a combat veteran. I have seen the world for what it is. I have suffered in my past relationships to the point that all I want, honestly, is a family, to see my kids grow, to have a home to come home to, and just be happy and be in peace. If you want to work, great. If you don't want to work, great. If you want to live bare minimum, great. If you want to succeed in life, great. As long as you respect me and I respect you, that is the most valuable thing I can have in my life. Because in reality, a relationship is about starting a family. It's about creating the next generation of people. Yes, it's important to ensure that their future is secure by creating, our own little empire where we have economic status to a point, right? Or economic security. But the most important thing is to give our kids the tools to succeed. Because if we can't succeed, right? If I'm poor all my life, I want to at least show that through hard work, appreciation, and faithfulness to our spouse, showing her the respect, and then her in turn showing me respect. That's all you need. Because at the end of the day, if you don't reach that 6-figure income, as long as you have each other, that's all that matters. How many people do we see on these other countries, right? That they live in a mud hut in the middle of Africa, or they live in some little cabin up in Alaska, and all they do is hunt, fish, and live off the land, and they're happy as can be. Yeah, they don't have a Tesla. Yeah, they don't have a Rolex watch. Yeah, they're not over here going to the club every weekend. They don't have a gym membership to Vasa, right? They're not over here posting on Instagram every 5 minutes, because that's not priority. A high value man and a high value woman shouldn't even be a thing. What should really be a thing is a high value family, a high value sense of core beliefs, that family structure, right? A man, a woman, loving and supporting each other, not even for individual career goals, but to ensure that you sacrifice for your kids. If that means that the husband has to stay home, stay home. If that means that wife has to stay home, stay home. If that means that you guys live in a little trailer in a trailer park, oh wow. If that gets your kids going through school because you can afford it that way, right? You live in a trailer house that's only $500 a month with a $500 lot payment, but you get to pay your kids to go to school. You're doing your job. So what if you're not driving a Tesla? So what if you don't have the highest paid job in the country? You know what? My kids don't care if I have a six-pack. My kids don't care if I have the best career in the world. My kids don't care if I'm the most muscular guy. You know what my kids care about? That I hug them, that I kiss them, that I'm there when they need me. You know what my daughter cares about? That I tell her I'm proud of her. You know what my girlfriend cares about? That I say, "Hun, I appreciate you and I see you. I appreciate all the efforts that you are doing." But if you make your life about your individual goals and you start pressuring your spouse about, well, you don't provide enough, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you give them hell instead of being appreciative, right? Then you're not a high value woman. If you're a man and you're over there being unfaithful and cheating constantly, all because of selfish wants and needs, then you're not a high value man. You know, there was a time when vows meant something. And yes, this is coming from a man that failed in his previous 2 marriages. Why though? Why did I fail, right? If I'm a high value man, if I deem myself that I have all this background, right, of morals and upbringings and everything, why did I fail? I'll tell you why. Because I didn't take the time. I didn't take the time to find my high value woman. Now, respectfully, I want to say this. I'm not saying that these people that I divorced are not high value. They may be high value to somebody else, right? In the sense of how what they have is what I deem valuable. And it's such a shitty way of saying it, right? That whole thing is kind of a very shitty way to look at people. High value, right? Because in reality, we're all high value to somebody. We all are. And that's the whole point about trying to be patient and open and learn how to communicate with people and say, you know, like I said, put your cards on the table and say, you know what? I may not be this, and that, but this is what I have to offer. Are you good with that? And she might just be like, that's everything I've ever wanted and hoped for. You're exactly what I wanted. Now, why can't we go back to that? Why do we have to make everything about careers and selfish needs? Why do we have to make it about looks and 6 figures? Why? Why can't we make it again about having a family structure, about ensuring you have your kids and your grandkids so that when you're old, you could go to a Christmas party and see all your grandkids running around and say, "Grandma, Grandpa," and you're hugging all of them. Why can't we make that a priority again, that when you die, you could look back and say, I had a good life raising my kids and my family. And when I'm surrounded by those that I love, they're going to be surrounding me and saying, he was there for us all the time. You know, it is beautiful to go on vacations. It is nice to be able to say, you know what, I'm not going to have kids. And that's in theory nice. I'm not going to have kids. I'm just going to travel, focus on myself. There's already a lot of kids in the world. You know, maybe that might be for you. But I don't know. I don't think from the cores, from the deepest beliefs in my system, I don't think people really think that way. I really don't. We are a social species. We need to have people. And when we're old, our friends are not going to be there. When we're old, it's not going to be these people that we socialize now with and go to the bars or go to the clubs. They're not going to be there to tell you, hey, let's go do this. Or, hey, I brought you a gift for Christmas. Or they're not going to be at your bedside saying, let me help you up. Let me feed you. Let me take care of you. No. So we have to be careful how we teach our kids, right? Because we're creating this independent mindset. When in reality, we should be saying we are codependent of each other. That's what a relationship is. You help me, I help you, but that's not conditional, right? It's an unconditional help me help you. So, I don't know. It's sad. It's sad in many ways. There's some very beautiful women out there. There's some very handsome men out there. But their moral compass is just all twisted. And it does come from a place of fear because, unfortunately, a lot of homes now are split, right? And they're split because of the same problems that we are creating ourselves by what we're teaching our kids. It's like this vicious cycle. And unfortunately, I'm in that situation that my kids are having to grow up in a home that's torn because of these ideals that are instilled in people. It's no longer about the family. It's all about individual wants now. So when you're looking for a high value man or a high value woman, look for something that aligns with your core beliefs. And I'm not talking about your individual wants or somebody that's going to give you what you need to get you to a certain level, but somebody that's going to be there to help you help each other. Somebody that's not going to take away from your peace or your what you've gained already, emotionally speaking, right? Because unfortunately, a lot of people get into these relationships and they themselves are not even healed yet from their past. Or some of them are so caught up in their own egotistical mindset that they don't see that they need improvement, right? And they don't see the fault in their errors and they don't self-analyze. And because of that, they can never grow to be that high value man or that high value woman. They don't sit there and say and reflect on their life and say, this is what I prioritized. This is what I thought was important. That was a big mistake. I'm going to take what I learned from this, throw that away, keep this, and I'm going to get better and actually focus on what's important. And funny enough, what seems to be the most important thing that everybody realizes is that a career is not important. Money is not important. None of the materialistic things are important. What really is important is family. Seeing your kids grow. Having a home. That's what's important. It's not even physical fitness. Unfortunately, I just saw somebody, a family member. I didn't see them. I just learned about a family member that passed away recently who was very, very goal-oriented, independent, strong-minded, beautiful, always took care of herself, always what she ate, everything, and passed away at the young age of 45. Think about that for a second. I bet you if she could trade all her success, everything that she had, to simply be able to spend more time with her kids, she would do it. Guaranteed. So, I probably rambled a little bit. I probably lost track and diverted into other subjects, right? But we need to teach our young men and women that priorities need to be set in a different way. And we need to focus on more important things. Because you are high value to somebody. And if you're not healed, if you're going through traumas, or you've gained knowledge from people who were traumatized themselves, you have some work to do. And if you can't self-analyze and reflect and learn about yourself, then you're going to have problems all your life. So, again, you guys let me know what you think. This is just my point of view. My name is Jesus Barone. This is Let 'em Bacon Podcast. Appreciate it, guys. Like I said, subscribe, follow TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, obviously. Let 'em Bacon Podcast. Take care, guys.